Howdy, folks. Widgett Walls from needcoffee.com here, and I'm welcoming you to my couch. Yeah, so if you're joining this apocalypse already in progress, basically what we've got is um, a scenario in which it is probably a very bad idea to go and hang out in an enclosed space in the dark with a bunch of people that you don't normally hang with and breathe a lot of recycled air with or without a mask on for an hour and 40 minutes, or at the bare minimum. Or if you were watching Thin Red Line, it would be about 21 days. But so the idea of doing a way homer at this point is not really something that we can do. And I know I mentioned doing this. I don't remember if it was back in March or last week. Time has broken down in the year 2020, but 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 here we are. And instead of telling you about something that I've seen in the cinema on my way home, I'm basically going to tell you about something that I've seen on my television, and I'm already home. So that's why this is the first Stayhomer review. Um, and that sigh was from my dog, who's off camera, who is about as excited about my jokes as most people. But anyway, we are here for the first one. And for the first one, I have decided to do, we are going to talk about Blood Quantum. Now, Blood Quantum synopsis. It's a zombie apocalypse, because of course it is. There's always a zombie apocalypse, right? And the difference is, this zombie apocalypse is well, it's taking place theoretically everywhere, but our story is focused on a First Nations reserve in Canada. For those of you who are south of the border in this madness down here in the United States, that's apparently like a Native American reservation. Um, but so basically, First Nations Reserve, the Red Crow Indian Reservation or Indian Reserve. There is a tribe name that I've seen mentioned online, which I will not attempt to say because I will destroy it pronunciation wise, as those of you who have watched my videos before could probably guess. But the trick is, we all know how zombie apocalypses work. Yes, you get bitten, the bite makes you sick, you get sicker and sicker, and finally you die and you reanimate and you get up and you start biting more people. Aha! But there's a difference here. And this is not a spoiler because this is actually made clear in the trailer. Uh, these indigenous folks up there are immune. Now, they're not immune to like dismemberment, right? I mean, the zombies could still tear you apart. But if they bite you, the bite's not going to make you sick. Therefore, you're not going to get sicker. Therefore, you're not going to die, at least of the zombiness in the bite. I mean, I'm assuming God knows what other diseases they might be carrying, so you might want to get a shot of some kind. I'm not sure. But anyway, so they're immune from the bites. And funny turn of events in that because they are immune, they have all of a sudden all of these white folks turning up at the gates of their reserve, saying, "Please let us in. We need shelter." So, what would you do if you were in their position? That's basically the synopsis. So, I'm just going to tell you up front. I'm just going to level with you straight out of the starting gate here that I really enjoyed this, and I really enjoyed this. Well, for a lot of reasons, but one of the main reasons is um, back in 2010, there was a film called The Dead, which was a zombie apocalypse basically happening, again, theoretically everywhere, but the story focuses on a very desolate stretch of Africa. And I was fascinated and terrified, frankly, because we all know, if you've seen a lot of zombie films, you go find a mall or you go find a house or you go find somewhere to hole up and you board everything up and you just wait for, I mean, usually in the movies, somebody to go crazy and destroy everything and get everyone killed. But you're theoretically waiting for help to arrive or something. It beats dismemberment. That should be a T-shirt. It beats dismemberment. So, so you know how that works. The difference is in The Dead, the land was flat for miles in all directions. There's no mall to hide in. There's hardly any buildings to hide in. That you could come across a shelter that looked like it was about to fall over, and there wasn't even a door. There was a door, but it wasn't on any hinges. It was just sort of leaning there. It's enough to make somebody like me, who's used to the normal zombie thing, start to lose their minds because what are you supposed to do? But I really enjoyed it because it it showed something that was like, let's look at zombies. Let's look at something that's not American zombie apocalypse. Let's look at anything that's not an American zombie apocalypse. I was like, oh, I'd love to see that, and I've gotten to see this, right. The Korean film Train to Busan, excellent. The other Korean, the TV series that I talk about from Netflix, which is excellent, Kingdom, excellent for different reasons, but still excellent. It's like, what will we do with the zombie apocalypse in 15th century Korea? Hello. So that stuff is cool. So here we have, a zombie apocalypse with, the immunity spin, but mostly I like the idea of, how does this culture handle it, especially with the flip of, well, we're basically calling the shots now because we're still alive, and we could, white folks, if we felt like it, just shut the gates and roast some s'mores while hearing you get tear apart, and then go make a sandwich. We'd probably do the sandwich before the s'mores. I don't know why I put it in that order. But again, time, it's broken down. It's 2020. So I really like that aspect of it. I also like the cast, very strong characters. Michael Greyeyes is the ostensibly the lead. He's sort of like the dad in the family that's the focus of the film, and really top-notch zombie apocalypse dad, I have to say. And I guess he's the patriarch. There's the grandfather. We'll talk about him in a second. But uh, but yeah, Michael Gray is great. I'm like, very strong performance from him. Very strong character. Exactly who you want as a dad in the zombie apocalypse. And then his dad, the grandfather, his name is I think I'm getting this right. His first name is Stonehorse, right? I mean, that's a stone horse, right? You totally believe that is a worthy name. Stonehorse Lone Goman, I believe, is his full name. And wow, I mean, if I told you that guy was an MMA trainer, you would be like, and? But he reminds me of something that my great grandmother told me a long time ago, which was, you know, if you're a kid in the zombie apocalypse, what you want is a grandfather with a katana. And she said this more than once. At the time, I wasn't sure what she was talking about, but just like, most things, your great grandmother's usually right. Um, so he's fantastic. So very strong cast, very strong concept, and I love what was done with it to a point. And here's where I get to the point where I have some uh, qualms. And before I get to the qualms, I think it is probably time for me to show you my white man badge.
White man badge. Oh yeah, he's got a white man badge.
He's white. He's really white.
Okay, I will explain what that was. I years ago started having a white man badge and just basically proclaiming to anyone who was listening to me or reading me that I was fully acknowledging that I was a white dude, and that there are many things culturally and everything else that I don't know. So this is just basically to put a quick disclaimer in, and the idea of a white man badge back then wasn't quite as problematic as it is now, but I'm going to stick with it for right now because I've been doing it for years. But basically, I just wanted to put out there what I'm about to talk about qualms wise. There might be things that are inherent to the indigenous Canadian experience that completely explain my concerns, or heck, for that matter, indigenous people in general might all look at this stuff and go, well, yeah, of course. Or I don't know, Canadians. I know that you're, slightly different up there. You're not Americans, and we're grateful that you're not Americans. Especially recently, we need a lot of more people to be not Americans these days. Hopefully soon that will change. But anyway, I'm digressing as always. But my qualms are that there are certain things, certain decisions characters make, certain actions that they take, and sometimes don't take, that don't really gel with everything else that they've done. And partly this is because if you have very strong, very smart characters who are who basically come across as very strong and very smart, and they do something not so strong and not so smart, you get why did they what did that happen? And it can be tempting. I my brain didn't go here because I was enjoying the performances and enjoying watching what was happening too much, but sometimes one can see, especially in comic books, where a character is made to do something 180 degrees from what you would believe their character would do, believably do, for reasons of plot. And I don't necessarily think that's what happened here. What it feels like is a couple of things. Either, right, there was information that was somewhere in there and maybe it got cut, or there was just too much to cover. From the very beginning of the film, once I realized where we were starting, I thought, oh wow, we got how much are they? How much ground are they trying to cover, and how much time? Wow. Um, so I worry that the biggest down part of this film is that it's a film, which is a weird, I won't say complaint, but just concern. In that it has so much meat on it, that I kind of wish it was a television miniseries at least, or a TV series. It would be great to see what this cast and what these people could do, now that Walking Dead is, I don't know how many seasons past its shelf life expiration. But anyway, um, so that's what I would love to see. And it's because I enjoyed the film so much that seeing those little wrinkles, it didn't make sense to me. Which again, the third option is they make sense to other people. They just don't make sense to me because I'm white dude, and I am living in a world that is full of stuff that I don't know that I don't know. And if you know what I don't know that I don't know, let me know. But I just I wanted more from that because there was um, so much potential, and it wasn't unrealized potential because I got the feeling that they got across the story that they wanted to, but there were just certain things in the story that I thought could have made more sense, at least to the white dude, if it had been fleshed out a little bit. And I know it's weird that I'm saying meat on the bone and flesh when I'm talking about a zombie movie, but maybe that's just where my head is at. I'm not even sure. Anyway, should you see it? Yes, you should absolutely watch it. It's currently streaming on Shudder, and it's the kind of thing where if you are a zombie fan, it is one of those that you're not going to want to miss. So do catch it, by hook or by crook. And as far as cups go, I mean, because there were concerns I had with it, but everything was strong enough to just carry me, to just float me across them, where I was just like, oh, I see a little wrinkle down there, but I'm enjoying myself so much that I almost don't care. It was only afterwards that I started thinking about it, and that's good. So I'm thinking 4 out of 5 cups. Strong genre outing, and quite enjoyable. A lot to like. So anyway, there you go. That is the Stayhomer review for the first one. And because I can watch almost anything on my television, I could, in theoretically review almost anything. But we'll talk about that more next time. And probably if you hang out and watch another video, I might talk some more about things with this film. Maybe. But quick housework before we go. I know that being it's pandemic, and some of you are going to be, celebrating Thanksgiving, celebrating Christmas, celebrating whatever holidays that you want. I'm celebrating second and third Halloween. Whatever holidays you're doing, rock on with your bad selves. But since you're probably going to be ordering stuff online because pandemic, if you go to needcoffee.com/Amazon, or if you go to Need Coffee and click on any of the Amazon links, wherever, anything you purchase during that session, we get kickbacks for, and that would help us pay for the server. And the idea of the server paying for itself is such a lovely idea. So that'll do it for this inaugural Stayhomer review. Until next time, please come check us out on needcoffee.com. Please stay safe. Please continue washing your hands. Wear a freaking mask. And we'll see you soon. Bye.